thankfully boring occurrence. I didn't do a video on this yesterday because no one cares what I have to say. 19-year-old John Haggins sold his car to purchase a Keltec sub-2000 collapsible semi-automatic rifle. 6 magazines, one of them longer than the others. 4 boxes of, or more, of 9mm, probably, all in a backpack. He had planned to go to a shooting range with it to practice. Once he was done, he was going to the Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, Daytona Beach, Florida campus to enact a Columbine, his words, not anybody else's. On the last day before winter break and the day of final exams when the campus would be packed with more people than normal. 2 students, however, reported his alarming Snapchat messages where he talked about this. And on the 9th of this month, he was arrested and charged with written threats, or posted threats, to injure or kill, and attempted first-degree homicide and or terrorism. Obviously, some of these are going to be bumped up or bumped down depending on what the prosecution and defense are going to be negotiating. He has since confessed to making the postings and statements, and may claim he wasn't serious and it was all a joke. However, prepping up and doing such a drastic move as to sell his car. People are working on an exact motive, but he's alive, so we can determine it, unlike certain other persons. Things started going downhill last year after he was accused of a sexual assault at a 2020 party, apparently, and on college he was on academic probation, which may be the motivation to attack the school. But here's my literal 2 cents. We're now at the point where any first-come, first-serve style statements would be visible, and everybody who has access to anything fresh in their minds would have said it, posted it, or whistle-blown it. This is a malcontent who got a hold of a gun after selling up his car and still had to go to a shooting range to fire a gun that is odd. The rest of this video is going to be very simple about the firearm, but here we go. Opinion. Members of the community he's in took what he said seriously and had the police arrest him and stop him from doing anything. The part about this that's as bad is he legit could say this is a joke. It doesn't matter anymore. We now have laws that if you make a terroristic threat, it's a terroristic threat. Bare minimum, he's going to go to jail for terroristic threats. Next, he will be denied the right to keep and bear arms the rest of his life, and everybody will know his face and name. If it was a joke, he's ruined his life. If it wasn't a joke, he's ruined his ability to go through with this. A percentage, unknown percentage, unfortunately, of people who want to do these sorts of things, we never find out what the red flags would be. This person basically was begging to get arrested. Or not. I suspect something emotional and psychological happened to him. That's me being a liberal and being nice about it. And this is also me being a liberal and not being nice about it. I say throw him in jail for the maximum period of time you can get away with, and never let him hear the end of this. And parade him around is what happens when you post this kind of stuff, so that people don't do it just to troll or harass people. So that we don't have to deal with this anymore. Because no one will want to, because yes, I want them to be afraid to threaten to kill people. I know some of you might find that annoying. He may have been joking, freedom of speech, but no. Next, I really do hope he was joking, because I'd like to think people have gotten to the point during this pandemic that people have stopped acting out and lashing out. That is what has destroyed us over the last few years. And it wasn't just the pandemic. This was going on, this rage quitting of reality that we've been dealing with has been going a lot longer. Lastly, I'm going to discuss or mumblicon about the gun. If you're not aware of it, the Keltec Sub-2000 is a gun that's a weird sort of semi-automatic rifle that looks a lot like a sporterized break-action firearm. It looks like, well, it is. Even though they try to make it look tactical, it's absolutely supposed to be designed as a very practical survival weapon. It's a backpack gun or a truck gun. It folds in half, but it doesn't break in the middle and fold in half where the muzzle's pointing down. This one breaks and flips backwards. The semi-automatic mechanism really screams pistol internally or externally. and the rest of it's flipped backwards so that it can't be fired if it's broken that way, so you can make sure it cannot fire. And it's designed to be loaded with 9mm, one of the, if not the most common cartridge you can find in some areas. And it's designed to be incredibly practical as a iron sights only gun, even though they tacticoolioed it with Picatinny rail all over the place, so you could stick on a scope, which he had with it. It's really designed to be iron sights and used at whatever range the bullet can go for out of a long barrel. And every time I've seen it, I always mistake it for a kit for turning a standard Glock or some other semi-auto pistol into a rifle, because it screams it's a pistol conversion. In fact, I kind of wonder if you could make a pistol conversion exactly like it. Just give it a longer barrel for more efficiency and a better sight plane, and make it really a useful firearm for sporting purposes. Is this the kind of firearm that is used in mass shootings? Yes, because most mass shootings are done with a semi-automatic pistol instead of a rifle. The ridiculous, overwhelming majority of mass shootings, the ones you don't hear about that are still mass shootings but they don't make the news, don't include a rifle. This will make the rounds because it has a scary looking black rifle literally in it that is basically an extended barrel pistol. To really look at it, it looks like a pistol conversion kit or something. And no, it's not built like a pistol, I know that. But the point is, this is the dumbest rifle I can think of to throw away your car money on. And I'm very happy he did it. This is one of those things where it's obviously I don't believe this person knew what he was buying. Except for the fact that it's a 9mm based rifle, which is eminently practical. And again, it's one of those many designs that really seems to have been built really to be a survival weapon. Like, a standard 1022 pip with 22 shorts standard rifle that you would have if you were living in a bunker someplace in the middle of Idaho. So my opinion of this is, I'm doubtful that this is a gun nut. I'm very likely to believe that this is a rando who decided to become a gun owner for this specific purpose. And that's where I'm pulling the plug on plausible deniability, or it was just a joke. This is a sequence that screams, throw away my life, get a gun, and die trying to shoot people. That's what it seems like. And this is the kind of thing you would expect from a lone gunman. All of the other lone gunman meme we hear about in history, I mean, when you can actually really tear it apart and find out that no, really what was reported really did happen, no questions. They always have something goofy going on with them, but every one of them, it seems, and this is a cutoff point, is borderline suicidal. Something shitty happens in their life and they decide out of nowhere to buy a gun. In the case of Stephen Paddock, buying a shit ton of them over many years, stewing about some damn thing. October of 2015, or was it 2014 when he started? You're going to have to look up when he started making his collection of guns. He actually collected them long before any particular political thing could cause it, so no, that's not what it was. Most of these people who do this kind of crap either have a very clear reason for doing it, or they're just suicidal people who decide to take other people out. That's it. That's what I'm suspecting here. In the next coming weeks, when more is dug up about him, because they're going to get access to his email passwords and all that, they're going to find out what was going on in his life as best they can. And I suspect, this is a guess, that John Haggins, apparently that's how he pronounces his name, was becoming suicidal, was becoming a person who didn't want to live anymore. The walls are closing in on him, or some other damn thing. And I do think this is a particularly odd gun to use for this. Either he had a really cheap car, no offense to the Caltech owners, or he got this from a pawn shop, or he really did throw a lot of money away on it because it's exclusively one characteristic about it. It's a concealable, non-concealable full-length rifle. It's not a folding rifle. It's a break action you can fold in backwards. And the semi-auto break, fully broken action, where you can fold it totally in half. That's acceptable. They're also guns where you can pop the front off and just throw them together in a backpack. They're just slightly slower to reassemble. The design is eminently practical because it's hard or impossible to lose the rest of the gun. And when it's folded in half, it literally can't hurt anybody. Storing it loaded in it with one in the chamber or whatever, I guess, probably couldn't even set it off. It's designed to be incredibly stable and practical. It's also possible that he could have decided to just switch over from having a car, because he didn't need it anymore, and decide to take up firearms for some reason. We'll know more about that later. Next, or last, will this guy actually get convicted? Posting terroristic threats, which is the common term, not the one that was used by the police department this month, is absolutely, he's going to get arrested for that. He's going to go to jail for that. Do I believe that terrorism or attempted murder thing is going to be true? According to Florida law, yeah, it could. Even though he didn't actually try to murder anybody, there's no sign of him actually firing a shot or aiming at anybody. I mean, it's missing most of the rest of the components. He may still be. But I'm absolutely sure he's going to be given the maximum sentence for whatever minimal thing they can get him on. And I hope they do take him to court for each thing separately. I don't think they should bring it together to where he could be exonerated because one of them is wrong or someone doesn't want to decide one thing or another. But they should definitely get him on that. And yeah, his life is screwed. And I don't know if he realizes it yet, but he just ruined his life. If he thought his life was worth throwing away before, something to throw away some dramatic fashion before, now it's just garbage. Because no one has a reason to forgive him. If this was a joke, if it really was a joke, which I am absolutely sure it wasn't, but if it was, this is a lesson to everybody. Be careful what you state and what you wish for out loud, especially if it would be detrimental to another. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that.